Ah, the 60s. The time of Woodstock, love beats, peace rallies. They say if you can remember the 60s, you weren't really there. But two young people who were definitely there are Jared Evans and Ginny Wakefield. In fact, as we join them, they're hitchhiking their way around the country. And these two flower children are about to find a path strewn with thorns.
Thanks a lot, man. Peace.
Back in 1967, I'd known Ginny Wakefield for about a year. It was the summer of love, and we were crazy about each other. We were on our way home to Petaluma, California, after spending the weekend in Haight-Ashbury, where it was all happening.
Oh, come on, stop!
Peace, brother!
I loved Ginny. She was such a free spirit. We didn't care about anything. The future was now. We hitched everywhere, to love-ins, to peace rallies, to rock concerts. But on that day, we were having a lot of trouble getting a ride.
Why don't they stop?
There's bad vibes in the air. Everyone must be a little uptight today.
Ah. Hey, baby, I am starving. You got any more like granola left?
Actually, we ate it all.
Finally. Hey, what's happening? Thanks for stopping. This far out car.
Is this the right road to Petaluma?
Yeah, straight ahead.
That's where we're going.
Hey! That's a real bummer.
We forgot about the Mustang and caught a ride with the truck driver. He dropped us off at a general store on the outskirts of Petaluma.
Hey, you two need some help finding something?
No, we're cool.
Ginny and I were starving and broke, so I decided to liberate some food for the cause. I didn't notice that the owner was watching us in the security mirror.
Hey, hippie! You gonna pay for that stuff? Ginny, look!
Jared, he's got a gun!
Get in! It's running!
The owner of the store called the cops, and 20 miles down the road, they caught up with us. Being arrested for shoplifting and stealing a car was bad enough. But what happened next changed our lives forever.
You got a dead body in here. What? We had nothing to do with this, I swear. All we did is list some food, and the guy had a shotgun, so we took the car, but we didn't kill anybody. You freaks are in a lot of trouble.
We told the police about the blonde woman with the Lady Luck tattoo, but they didn't care. Lots of people hated hippies back then, and we were found guilty of murder in the second degree. Ginny and I spent the next 5 years in prison while we appealed the case. We were finally able to get a new lawyer, and he got us a new trial. Because of a lack of evidence, the verdict was overturned, and we were freed. Ginny and I never stopped loving each other. As soon as we got out of prison, we got married and opened a small health food restaurant with money from our parents. We'd been in business for about 5 years, and we were doing pretty well. So we splurged and bought ourselves a used Mustang convertible.
Jared, what are you doing? We're late.
come on, Ginny. You remember how hard it is sometimes to get a ride?
Right.
Where you headed?
Just down the road a few miles.
Oh, get in.
Great. Get out of the car.
Man, take it easy. We don't want to
Shut up! Just get out.
It was her.
I can't believe it.
Ginny and I walked to a payphone and called the police. They caught the woman the same day and we got our car back. After we gave testimony at her trial, the old murder case was reopened. Fingerprints were found on a tire iron that matched the tattooed woman's. She finally confessed that she had stolen the car and killed the owner all those years ago.
Could this really have happened? Could the same woman have shown up again years later and encountered the same couple? Was some force of fate making sure that the right person was found guilty of the crime? Or was it all just an amazing coincidence? Do you reject this segment as just another lie? Or will you give this piece a chance?
Next, you'll find out which of our stories are facts and which are fiction when Beyond Belief returns.
Now let's look back at tonight's stories and find out which ones are inspired by actual events and which ones are totally false. What about the woman whose computer seemed to channel the spirit of a murder victim? Was this a true story? It's an exercise in creative writing. It's false. How about the story of the patient who was visited by the ghost of her dead husband?
Well, looks like Mrs. Atkins finally has a visitor.
Oh, I hadn't noticed. The hospital community liaison might have notified Mrs. Atkins' church. Yes.
Yeah, he must be her minister. Looks like Mrs. Atkins' blood pressure has improved.
Do you think you've heard a story like this before? You might have. It's true. According to our research, a similar story happened in the Pacific Northwest in the late 80s. Let's look again at the son who saved his father through an out-of-body experience.
CJ, over here.
Gary? Is that you?
Peter's in trouble.
What?
He went off the trail and he's hurt. Get a search party together now.
How do you know this?
Just do it, or Peter will die.
Hey, man, give me a phone. Come on, man, give me a phone!
Was this story true? Yes. It was based on a similar event that took place around Colorado about 20 years ago. How about the con man who met his match in a couple of neighborhood vampires?
Took everything.
Did a similar story to this one take place? Could be, but we made this one up. Let's have one more look at the strange story of the 60s couple who encounter their nemesis again years later.
Where you headed?
Just down the road a few miles.
Oh, get in.
Right. Get out of the car.
Man, take it easy. We don't want to
Shut up! Just get out.
Did you guess it was true? You're right. The story spans a 5-year period, covering locations from Northwest California to Eastern Canada. So were things black and white tonight? Or did they seem to be varied shades of gray? And when the truth is shaded, can we still call it truth? Or is the search for truth a complex pursuit where we're certain to encounter things that are beyond belief? I'm Jonathan Frakes.
The true stories on tonight's show were based upon first-hand research by author Robert Tralins. For Beyond Belief, this is Campbell Lane.